welcome to the Hanging with Web show on HWWS Web TV Live. I know out there in the world, a lot of you are sitting at home and practicing some really smart, really safe social distancing right now. And we wanted to bring you a little something to help alleviate the monotony of kind of being home and on your couch. Today we have a great show planned for you. We will be interviewing the one and only Kevin Guillotte, nothing short of a true entrepreneur, someone who is working with artists and in the pop culture community to really build something special for you every day. Kevin is the entrepreneur behind NSCLIVEtv.com. Where you can find anything from artists and pop culture podcasts about doing art, seeing art, to live auctions from comic book shops and retailers around the country who are bringing that art from the artist right to you. And he's doing so many other things, including, guys, Kevin and his partner Archie Waleda, a graphic artist, is responsible for that fantastic opening sequence that you just saw. We are so happy and so proud of that. And these are the guys that made it happen for us. And we got to see it every step of the way that they went through it. We're going to talk a little bit with Kevin about that. Before we jump over to Kevin, though, I want to thank everybody for being here in the room today. And for those of you who are joining the chat or coming in, please say hello so I can see that you're here. But we're so glad that you guys are with us today and helping to enjoy our time. Since we all have to be sequestered, we can enjoy our time together on social media. I want to thank everybody who's out there for using social media the way it was intended to be used, to share information and to build community in a time when we need that more than ever. And of course, to our artists and entertainers in the community, I want to thank you all for using your social media presence, for using that social media footprint to entertain people as they are experiencing hard times and are stuck in their homes. We've seen musicians sharing their work from their living rooms, from kitchens, of course, our good friends, the Kitchen Killers, from everywhere. We've seen podcasters sharing Facebook Live. We've seen a lot of people come together to use social media to build community in a time when we all need to feel connected to one another. Just a quick update for those of you who are following online. I don't share information unless I get it from a credible source or a good source. We are working very hard at every level and in every state to, as the medical professionals say, flatten the curve in this time to fight off the COVID-19 virus. And they're working every day. The testing is getting out there. As predicted, numbers are going up as tests are completed. But we expect that curve to flatten because you are doing the right things. You're staying home. You're social distancing. You're only, using what you need. And we're building community online. So thank you for that. We're so proud of our community. There are 19,000 of you here on our Facebook page, and we are grateful to every single one of you for doing smart and good and safe things. So thank you for that. Guys, Kevin Guillotte is an entrepreneur by every stretch of the imagination. He is by every definition of that word, which I made up, so I know the definition. And he has really been doing some amazing things. So let's welcome to the screen right now, guys, Kevin Guillotte, entrepreneur at NSC Live TV. And there he is. There you are. Hey, Kevin, how are you, man?
Good morning.
Hello. How are things out your way?
Well, Colorado Springs became a hot spot early, so it's been kind of a little bit of chaos. I do apologize for maybe the low lighting with the set because I wanted to update a webcam, but there is not a webcam to be found in all of Colorado Springs.
It seems these days people want to be in touch more and more.
Yes.
And these little devices are fantastic for doing that. So it doesn't surprise me we can't find a webcam out there. I also heard from some friends this morning that are doing, similar to what we do every day on the web, that website traffic is just insane.
Yes.
People trying to connect via the web right now. How are things?
Go ahead.
How are things in these times at NSCLIVEtv.com?
They're growing exponentially because several of our normal vendors are requesting more live times because, again, their businesses are being shut down or they're being limited in time. So they're requesting from us that they can do more lives. And that's something we've stepped right up to help them with.
That's fantastic, man. So I'll tell you what, we have to pick you do so many things in the community right now, including working with Archie. And again, we'll talk a little bit later on about that opening sequence that you guys were able to create for us. But let's go back to NSC Live TV to the beginning. What inspired you? What drove you to want to create what is essentially become a fantastic arts and entertainment network to bring all these things together? What drove you to do that?
Well, I appreciate the kind words about that. It actually came about from a customer standpoint, me being the customer. The job that I have, I get a chance to I work 2 weeks on and 2 weeks off, and I work a swing shift. So a lot of times I have a lot of time on my hands, 2 or 3 in the morning, and I was surfing around like everybody else, trying to find a good quality content live to buy books and interviews to watch and that sort of thing. And I struggled with that. And then I was talking with a friend of mine who is part of the group, Matt Fletcher. And I said, are you having the same issues that I'm having? And he said, definitely. So we got to talking about this and kicking it around. And I said, well, you know what? I'm going to go back to my roots as an artist and create a better mousetrap and create it from a customer standpoint to make it easy to find these sort of things. And
it's in the internet today is so vast and there's so much content. The hardest thing to do is find the content you're looking for. And by having it in one place, under one roof, as it were, where people can actually go, they can find live auctions, they can find your artists doing their work. There's so much content there that it truly is a brilliant idea to bring all these things under one roof. And so how hard was it to find content creators and people who wanted to be a part of this when you first started out?
In the beginning, people they'd never seen anything like it before, so they were trying to figure out how they fit into the mix. So we structured everything like a Comic-Con. That's why we have an artist alley, we have a writer's row, and we started building all the pieces that someone that would go to Comic-Con would want. And in doing that, it also helped all the different live auctioneers kind of fit into the mix. And by doing that, like I said, this whole thing came about as an idea about 2:00 in the morning, just trying to figure out to find something for ourselves. And it started with 5 channels, and now it's grown to almost 100. So we'll probably just crest the 100 mark here in probably about the next 2 weeks, especially with people getting on now. We're getting contacted more and more because people know what's going on. Their businesses are shut down, the mom and pops out there, the local comic shops, and they need a venue to be able to get their books sold.
That's fantastic, man. And you know what's interesting right now is we hear a lot of chatter in our artistic community about the ups and downs that come with the growth of social media and online vending, et cetera. But it's not really been tested. We've not got to see it at its best or worst until now, until people are stuck in their homes looking for something to do. And networks like NSC Live TV are now places where they can go and find all the different content from all the different providers that they could possibly want to look at within a given venue. So I think it's amazing to see, and I think during this crisis, especially places like NSC Live TV are going to become more and more important. And of course, we hope HWWS Web TV, because that's what we're building for our entertainers and our artists. So, which brings us to how you and I met in partnership and collaboration, because NSC Live TV was one of the first places to put us in a collaborative and inspired us to bring other creative minds on board the channel and make our YouTube channel what it is, which is, many people use the term YouTube channel, but what they mean is show.
Right.
Because you can only produce so much content for yourself. And it usually turns out to be like us at the Hanging with Web show, where it is a single show with this large channel that YouTube helps us put together with a lot of empty space. So we took working with you at NSC Live TV, we went ahead and took a page out of your book and said, well, if we're a YouTube channel, we should be a channel. We should have more than one show. We should have more than one content creator working. And we were able to put together, I think, what's now 6 or 8 content creators putting out a show almost every day of the week of some sort. And, that's all you guys, man. That's inspired by, I'm a big fan of the last original idea was to allow human beings to walk upright. Everything else is a redo, and I have no pride of authorship in saying that we certainly took for video content a page out of the NSC Live TV book. So thank you for inspiring us. In addition to NSC Live TV, you are also an artist in your own right, and you are working on several different things in marketing and communications. Let's talk a little bit about what you're doing in addition to NSC Live TV. I know you and Archie are working to do some really special things. Again, I'm going to run that opening clip one more time, and then I want to break it down with you and talk a little bit about where you and Archie got together from.
Sure.
Okay, so Dina, if you go ahead and load that up and run that opening clip for us. All right, man. So you're on camera here now. You and Archie put that together. Thank you so much for that, by the way. What a wonderful. It actually was a surprise because you had sent me the bits and pieces when you first got started, and I was so excited and so surprised by it. So let's talk a little bit about you and Archie and what you guys are doing together and where this came from.
Well, I know Archie's traveling right now, so I'm sorry he's not with us, and I'd like you guys to retouch with him later, and
Absolutely.
You guys can talk more in detail. Archie and I started collaborating here a while back, and he's a very, very talented illustrator and animator for that in his own right. He does pencil and ink, he does all kind of different things, but his animations to me are what really stood out. And he's animated some stuff for us before. He did our opening credits for NSC Live and showed all the different content that we have. And then he turned around and just did an animation for our latest venue, which is Top Dog Comics. So we took the comic side of NSC and pulled it out from underneath it to stand it up on its own. And that is Top Dog Comics. So any of the comic book location, any of the comic sales that we do all goes through that. And he animated that logo, which you can see on the website. And then that also drove us to want to do more creatively. So again, like you said, this other inspirations from other people help make us better. And Archie's definitely done that for us. And in doing that, we went a step further and created Inked Marketing. And Inked Marketing is the only, to my knowledge, the only advertising agency that solely focuses on the comic book industry.
Wow, man, that's fantastic.
That's the newest venture that will be launched here shortly. So now we have the NSC Live section, which is basically just the virtual TV station. We have the comic book, which is the physical selling end. And then now we'll be able to do marketing for people like yourselves, artists out there, your everyday mom and pop LSCs, to be able to get their niche and to get them more ground to be able to be seen.
That is fantastic, man. It really is. One of the things that I noticed right away was you guys are really reaching sort of expanding the scope of what you're doing. And we talk to a lot of artists and creative artists out there in the community. And one of the most difficult things to teach and to tell and to share with an artist is that any business requires sort of multiple revenue streams, multiple disciplines to come together at once in order to really succeed. It's great. When I write a book, it's great, but I have to be marketer and publisher and writer. And then I have to wait for my money and for my success. And so what do I do in the meantime? And in our case, we run a television network and a TV show. But in many cases, trying to tell people use that artistic energy to come together and create multiple things. And that's kind of what you guys have done. You've got the marketing happening, you've got the animation happening, and you've got, of course, NSC Live TV, which is a network in and of itself. I want to say welcome to Gene Cope. Hey, cuz, how you doing? I hope everything is really well with you where you're at right now. And I know we have about 40 people coming in and out of the chat watching today. So I really hope that you guys are enjoying the show, and make sure you leave comments and things like that. If you have questions for Kevin, please put them in the chat so we can see them. He can see your questions, so he knows who you are. So remember, and he probably knows where you live. I'm not sure. So yeah. So enjoy the show, guys, and please leave your questions and about what's going on here. Anything from NSC Live TV to Inked marketing. Is that right? Inked?
Yes.
Inked marketing and other ventures right now that we're talking about. Speaking of collaboration, we went to that first clip, and one of the things I was sharing on Facebook earlier a couple weeks ago was that clip is the culmination of a massive collaborative effort. The original artwork, the 3 cartoon figures that represent me and the girls on the show, were done by Tambrie Art, that's Bree Prescott, out of near Jacksonville, Florida. The logo design and the lettering and everything else was inspired and co-created by artist Josh Bauer, J Bauer Art, and which he's currently updating to make it kind of messy and J Bowery. And of course, Cosplay Michael, who gave us some of his input while we were designing that logo. And then after that was all done and we had a static picture, Kevin and Archie took it on their own to go ahead and animate those characters and create a world around that logo. And so you had, and as a part of that though, as Kevin and I were talking off camera earlier, Kevin, you and Archie have never been in the same room together.
No, that's the beauty of the internet. Archie gets a chance to travel around, and currently he's in Mexico right now traveling, and he sets up shop. We get together and do everything online, and that's the beauty of this.
That is fantastic, because that is what and especially right now in these difficult times, one of the things that we are, telling our audience is that this is a test of whether or not social media and the internet can do what it was designed to do, and that's bring us all together. And you and Archie have already been doing this now for so long, working together online, and that's a fantastic example.
And the other part of it is NSC is way bigger than myself. It's also made up of several people across the United States. There's a team of 12 of us.
Wow.
And my wife and I are only 2 of the 12. The rest of them are scattered everywhere from Florida to California.
That's fantastic.
Everybody's listed on the staff page. And you go out there and you see, there's people like Sarge and his wife, Donna, that they are in charge of the charity side of things. And Paper Heroes Charity is a division of NSC Live, and that's where we actually get to go out and find either an artist that has an issue or someone in their family, something bad has happened. And we'll either do a live and sell books and raise money, or we'll donate books to a charity, either a school or an orphanage, to keep that going. And Sarge is taking care of that now. And then you have Parker, and Parker is one of the people that helps get the message out for the vendors. And then there's Matt Fletcher, again, as I mentioned early on. Matt and I came together in the beginning of this. We were the first 2. And then Parker has brought his brother on, Eric, and Eric has been very helpful in getting the message out. So there is a group, like I said, of 12 of us that are stretched from coast to coast that actually make this possible.
That is fantastic. Let me ask you, what has been the biggest challenge in utilizing this technology and putting this group together across the country to build what you've built at NSC?
Well, sadly enough, the biggest challenge is in any venue or anything that you do that starts to take notice and is different or become successful quickly, you get the people that want to naysay and don't think that it's actually being accomplished or what you're doing is actually real. They think it's some sort of odd voodoo or something. And I can say that because I'm from Louisiana. So that being said, we got a challenge the other day from one of the groups that we do that's located in Canada. And that group said, hey, you've got us to about 80 or 90 viewers. I bet you can't get us to 100. And, the bet was kind of like the bet in Trading Places. We bet $2.
Yeah.
And he said, I'll bet you $2 that you can't get us over 100. So I backed out for a second, rallied up the team, and said, hey, we've been challenged. And in a matter of about 5 minutes, we pushed them over the 100 viewer mark.
That is fantastic. And anybody who works in social media live and in broadcasting will tell you that people come into a chat or into a broadcast and then they go out. They stay for what they want and then they leave and then they come back and new people come in. And so to have 100+ viewers in that room at one time is something that is an amazing accomplishment. We've seen live musicians that can pull in 40, 50, 60 at a time and have those, wonderful bang up one-off nights where they are writing all the right hashtags and you get a great big push of maybe 100 and change. And then that comes and it goes very fast.
Right.
You can almost barely see it because 100, 200 people come in the room and then all of a sudden they're like, I didn't know if this is what I was here for. And they leave.
Well, people are very microwave minded. And I always tell our customers that just like you said, you do not end the session with the same 15 people that you started with.
Oh, yeah.
People flow in and they flow out.
Yep.
And like you said, to keep that many people at one time is a lot of effort. And I always tell people we're back here, flipping switches and pulling knobs and turning levers to try to keep that momentum going.
There's so much work that goes in. On that side of the camera, there's so much work.
Yes.
I am blown away with every broadcast we do. Dina is over here flipping buttons and switches and making the multiple cameras, helping you and I talk to each other. Sage is over there on social media. I don't know exactly what she does. All I know is people stay because she does it. There might be a chance that she's putting pictures up in the feed that I don't know about. I don't know. But it's an amazing a team effort. And like you said, you have 12 people at NSC spread across the country that are all working so hard to make that team effort. And again, we do get the naysayers and the people who say, gee, what are you doing? I've had people look at the show and the fact that we do these interviews with artists and creators and say, do you charge for those? And I say, no, of course not. I'm a media outlet. My job is to do that. And they say, well, how can you possibly make that work? And I think people forget that before social media, before all of these things came about, it was a matter of resource. So you had ABC, NBC, CBS, you had the big broadcasters who built the model that you and I use today. They built it in a time when there was only one way to build it, and that was to pour massive amounts of resources into antennas and broadcast equipment. Today, you and I can build the same network using existing technology that comes into our homes if we can learn how to use it effectively. What has been the biggest reward to go along with that challenge to seeing NSC grow?
A couple of them. One is, I'll take it in two different pieces. The first one is the comic location part, because we have several people under the Top Dog brand that come to us and say, hey, can you find this particular book? It's either a book they had in their childhood or a book they got from a family member that they would love to have again. The best reward, beyond all the rare books and the high dollar books, was a book I found for an 8-year-old, which was a Goosebumps book. Oh, and I was locating a book for his dad, and he wanted to do something with his dad. So he said, hey, can you find me a book too? So that was the greatest reward. Was I had a stack of books located for customers, but that one book for that 8-year-old stood out because he was so excited. His expression was so great. And his dad snuck in and took pictures of him reading that book, which was great to see.
Wow.
So that was the great reward on the location side. Now on the interview side and the expansion of the network, I get a chance to meet a lot of great artists and a lot of inspirational artists. To circle back around quickly, when I was 18 years old, I got a chance to go to my local comic shop and talk with Stephen Butler. And Stephen Butler has created several things out there. He does a lot of stuff right now. And the things that stand out is he did Silver Sable back when I was growing up. He does a lot of stuff now with Lady Death. He does some current covers with Coffin Comics. So once the network had kind of started to stand up, we were about maybe 20 or 30 channels. As life turns around, fast forward 30 years, Stephen contacted me and said, hey, we would like to, as Butler's Brigade, join NSC Live. And that was a huge accomplishment feeling for me to have someone that inspired me as a child and maybe want to go into the art industry. And that's what I did. I have a BA in art, and one of the people that inspired me to pursue that was Stephen.
Wow.
So I get a chance to talk with one of my inspirations on a regular basis. NSC Live just helped him do a Kickstarter for him and his daughter. So he just those things are the rewarding things. I picked up a book the other day. Yondu 1 came out for Marvel, and I read it and located the cover artist and the interior artist and the inkers and stuff, and sent out a message and said, hey guys, I'd like to do an interview with you. And they've all started to kind of put their pieces in and respond to that. So it's nice to be able to do that. Alan Bellman, which we were both friends with,
Alan.
Wish me a happy Father's Day and happy Easter out of the blue. I got messages on my phone from him, and to have people like that are so monumental in this industry, which we will all miss him greatly, to have those inspirational legends contact, me, just a regular everyday artist, is very, very humbling experience.
As a creative artist, it is overwhelmingly humbling, and it is such a privilege when the artists and the pioneers in media and arts and entertainment who we grew up with, who we were like, these are our idols. These are the people who inspire us every day. And when we get one that comes on the set and I walk away from it and I look at the girls and I say, it was so surreal to be addressed and to be treated as a peer to people who I have been in awe of.
Yeah, that's moving.
It is amazing to me, and I know it must be to you. You and I got to know each other through the internet, through Facebook, in collaboration between Hanging with Web Show and NSC Live TV. We've been so privileged and so blessed to be a part of the NSC Live TV family and to grow with you guys. It's been amazing. What is coming up? What are some things that are coming up either on NSC Live TV or for you personally or whatever? What's coming up that we can look forward to?
Well, you're going to start to see us, our smiling faces at a lot of cons. And in doing that, we'll be able to bring a wider scope to our customers and be able to get their names out there in some of these larger events. That's our goal for this year. We're hoping to get things lined up. If this whole virus thing goes away, we're hoping to get some big things done in Vegas coming up here in a few months. If not, we'll just keep it under our hat and get it all out there a little bit later in the year. But a lot more charity work is what we were about. NSC was funded on three things and built on three things. One, to get quality vendors out there to good quality customers, and then turn around and get good quality customers to good vendors. And last but not least, it was to give something back. And the give something back is the charity side of things. And we would like to expand that greatly. So that's one of our goals for this year.
That is so fantastic. Folks, Sage dropped a link to Paper Heroes charity over in the chat, so please check that out. We do see we've got a great steady audience in here. Thank you guys so much for coming by and hanging out with myself and Kevin today on this great Saturday. We hope we've helped to alleviate some of the monotony of being home. And I know a lot of you have been kind of staying in the house for the last week or so. Again, our hearts and our thoughts and our prayers go out to all of you, our whole audience, in this time. And we're going to be bringing you some fantastic stuff, hopefully some great stuff in collaboration with our friends at NSC Live TV. We want Kevin to keep us posted on all the things that are going on, auctions and vendors that are out there. And we want to be sharing those things on the HWWS Web TV network so that you guys can see, you guys can stay engaged. We have to be home. That doesn't mean that we have to shut down our lives. And Kevin is one of many fantastic creative artists that are building places for us to build community while we're separated from one another. So stay tuned for that. Kevin, what kind of stuff we have? I know that there's a pretty full schedule at NSC. of shows and things and vendors that are out there doing their thing. What's in the next week or so, as people are kind of stuck at home, what kind of things are coming up on NSC that they can look forward to, auctions or vendors or things that are coming out?
Well, one of the things is one of the 12 of guys is Jake LaCava, and he has he's got to where he does a cooking show now. So we've kind of inserted that into the comic shows. The best way to see what's going on with us is when you go to the homepage, click a button that says NSC Now. And NSC Now is a feature that people love because it's just like going to your TV and seeing what's coming up and what's coming on. And it gives you a breakdown for the week. And it's kind of like, Cheers is coming on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock on whatever network. Same with us, that you can actually go to NSC Now and click on it and see when these shows are going to come on. So that's one of the things I want to get with you here shortly is start to pull over some of the shows that you're doing, insert those into the NSC Now. That way people can find some of the great and interactive things that you guys are doing as well. That way there's more of a mirroring of our two networks.
Absolutely. And that's, again, guys, one of the great things about being a creator in today's day and age is not only the technology that has allowed us to publish our books and our creations and the content that we're creating for the internet, but also the ability to collaborate with one another to build great things. Again, that opening sequence that you guys saw at the beginning of the show was a collaboration between the artist who designed the characters, the artist who designed the words and the logo, the animation of Archie Waleda, the vision of Kevin Guillotte, and I hope somewhere in that whole mix, GW Pomichter had a little something to do with it, although I highly doubt it. I showed up, I modeled for the artist, but everybody else did such a fantastic job. We are so excited about that and that spirit of collaboration that we have, and we're going to be sharing some things with NSC Live TV for their guide so that you can see when we do things. We drop a new episode of HWWS Web TV's Hanging with Web show every weekday. We haven't been dropping them during this crisis. However, we are going to start to put out some fresh daily content there. But you can check out some awesome playlists we've been sharing through the weeks. Everything from our children in the arts to celebrities and to artists and authors, et cetera. We got some fantastic things coming up that we're going to put on the NSC Live schedule as well. So check out NSC Live TV. I think she put a link over there to the Facebook page, also to the website where you can get that guide to see what's going on and what's going. And check back here at HWWS Web TV on Facebook as we will post when live videos and things are going on from NSC Live TV. Kevin, thank you so much. Let's put us side by side here. There we go. Kevin, thank you so much for your time, man. Thanks for coming on and talking with us about all the things you've got going on. You and I could probably chat for hours.
Probably so.
It is amazing the work that you're doing, and it is always a great privilege to find someone who's out there doing the same kind of work that we're doing and that we can work with and complement the way we have with NSC Live TV. So thank you for your time and thank you for coming on there. Thank you to everybody in the chat room. I know you didn't ask a lot of questions or anything, but we are glad that you were here. We are glad that you were listening and watching. We are glad that you are home, listening and watching and staying safe. We want every single one of you to come back to watch an NSC Live TV show or an HWWS Web TV show. And so we want you to stay safe and healthy. We're going to about log off, guys. And then Kevin and I behind the scenes will do some chatting and we'll make some new plan to conquer the universe and help you guys be entertained while you're on lockdown here. So in the meantime, Kevin, once again, thank you so much for all you do and for being here with us today and giving us 30 minutes of your time. Thank you to everyone who's logged on and tuned in to watch the Hanging with Web show live. Keep logging on, keep tuning in, and see who we're hanging with next.